$16 billion in tokenized real estate coming to the XRP Ledger, $1 billion in climate assets coming into the Hedera ecosystem, $1 million in hackathon prizes coming to the Hedera ecosystem. The real world is moving on-chain fast, not just hype. It's governments, institutions, and builders making it happen. Today, we're covering major blockchain and DLT adoption milestones, from Dubai and XRP Ledger to Hedera's push across Africa, Quant's Layer 2.5 rollout, institutional grade custody on XDC, and $1 billion bet on environmental data coming out of DOVU from the Hedera ecosystem. Buckle up. I wanted to start with this piece of information that came out yesterday on Memorial Day. Control Alt and Dubai Land Department going live with tokenized real estate on the XRP Ledger. They partner with the Dubai Land Department, which is a government entity, to bring $16 billion in tokenized real estate onto the XRPL. This platform is going to be combining tokenized property titles, verified identity, full government approval, and legal compliance. Dubai is effectively using public blockchain rails for one of the largest real-world asset pilots, is what they're kind of saying here within the initial pilot to date, with real assets, real ownership, and real users. When you get into the weeds here, and I won't read through the entire thing, but there's enough on here. But as the designated token provider for the project, Control Alt bringing deep expertise into financial engineering and digital asset infrastructure. The DLD and Control Alt have worked closely together on the development of a secure and compliant tokenization framework focusing on structuring, minting, and placing real estate title deed tokens on chain. The XRP Ledger is a decentralized layer 1 blockchain renowned for its decade-long reliability and stability in tokenizing and exchanging digital and real-world assets, has been selected as the blockchain of choice for the project. Additionally, Control Alt has integrated directly with the DLD to synchronize both digital and traditional real estate ledgers, ensuring coordination between the on-chain and the conventional property registration system. It sounds a lot like the synchronization stuff that we were kind of talking about with even Bank of England's renewed real-time gross settlement system. Project has been developed under the Real Estate Evolution Space Initiative, or REIS, so that's probably something you could target key search. Marks the first time in the Middle East that a government real estate registration authority has implemented a public blockchain-based tokenization of property deeds, title deeds. With this move, the DLD, or the Dubai Land Department, is leading the charge towards a more accessible, transparent, and efficient real estate market. The initiative is projected to contribute to a growth of AED 60 billion or 16 billion USD tokenized real estate by 2033, which is equivalent to 7% of Dubai's total property transactions. I think when you step back and really think about where we're at with adoption, this is pretty wild to see. I mean, you're literally, now there's all sorts of studies, obviously, that lead us out towards 2035. We've seen estimates in the tens of trillions of dollars being tokenized even by the end of this decade, and some that are a lot more kind of reserved. But 7% of Dubai's total property transactions, and I'm assuming that figure is, as far as today's date is concerned, that's massive. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that they're just going to stop at 7%? I mean, it's kind of like once you open up the door to a more efficient system, we talk about it. And, I did an AI space with Lehman Baird and a ton of AI pitch participants out of the Hedera ecosystem last week for demo days from a hackathon. You even have people like Lehman saying everything is going to be tokenized. So you look at the real estate industry, I think it's like somewhere between 300 and 400 trillion dollars, depending on what numbers you pull from globally. This is pretty wild stuff, and you put it into the context of where we're at right now. And I've brought this up before. We haven't even missed the bucket yet. $22.96 billion of RWAs on chain. This number is probably a little low because RWA XYZ does not have all the integrations for all the ecosystems yet. But still, just as a point, this isn't the these are more recent, I guess, initiatives that Ripple has been involved with in Dubai. So Ripple licensed to operate in Dubai amid XRP surge and anticipated SEC case conclusion. This coming out at the tail end of last year. It has received regulatory approval to operate in Dubai, marking a significant step in global expansion efforts. And then off the back end of that, even further, Ripple has announced 2 new partnerships in the UAE for its Ripple payment service. Zand Bank and Mamo. This development follows Ripple's recent approval by Dubai Financial Services Authority, making it the first blockchain-based payment firm to be licensed by the regulator. If you look into just how big the Dubai Land Department is, this is a government agency, like I talked about before. You get into the weeds with how many transactions. 2024, the Dubai Land Department reported a strong performance in the real estate sector with AED 761 billion. I think this is like 220 billion USD in transactions, and AED 526 billion in investments. Specifically, the value of real estate transactions reached AED 761 billion, which was a 20% increase year over year, while the value of real estate investments reached 526 billion AED, a 27% increase year over year. So it's obviously massive. It's a government initiative. I think this is huge for the XRP Ledger, and pretty cool to see. You can go on to dmo.dof.gov to kind of check more out into Dubai Land Department and get some more stats for you guys. All right, I wanted to move forward to this. This is a Hashgraph Association hackathon that was just announced, and I think this was yesterday as well. This is the biggest hackathon in recent memory I can remember. Maybe there have been $1 million hackathons in other crypto ecosystems before. I don't know of any off the top of my head. I know that this is probably the biggest one that's ever happened in Hedera. So huge shout out to the Hashgraph Association. Give them a follow at _Hashgraph. Launched by the Hashgraph Association, collaboration with the Exponential Science Foundation, another Hedera ecosystem entity, and operated by DAR Blockchain. It's Africa's largest Web3 hackathon to date, with a $1 million prize pool. No blockchain experience, no problem. Backed by 50 plus partners, 100 plus universities and tech hubs. More than a hackathon, movement to empower Africa's next generation of builders. Participants will build solutions on the Hedera network across on-chain finance, ESG and sustainability, self-sovereign identity and AI, gaming, metaverse, and NFTs. I took a look at the website this morning too, and it's an awesome website. So shout out to whoever did the design of this website. I think it just looks pretty badass. 20 plus hacking stations, 10,000 plus developers. I should note, even during like the demo day stuff that we hosted last week through Genfinity, it is really cool to see kind of global participation. Definitely, it appeared we had some participants coming out of the African region, which was really, really cool. This is going on for 65 days, 9 hours, 51 minutes, and 20 seconds. And again, $1 million prize pool. Definitely nothing to sniff at. So really, really cool. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more out of this. You can see all the hacking stations. It's pretty awesome. So I wanted to make sure I gave that a shout out. There's tons of information in here as well. All right, I wanted to move forward into it looks like Quant and the Quant ecosystem has been making some ridiculous announcements over the past 2 days. And, for those of you guys that aren't aware, check out like some of the work that Quant's done with Overledger and interoperability. Google search regulated liability network, Quant, Bank of England, European Central Bank, and Quant. You just do some digging and you'll find some interesting stuff. Quant's taken a lot of flack from a lot of people basically in the past saying, the digital asset Quant doesn't get used in the Overledger platform. It's just a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. Don't see what the big deal is, blah, 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 blah. And that's totally fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinions on this stuff. I think for additional context, Quant has been one of the, I'm talking about the organization, not the crypto. But the organization has been like really kind of just like not doing the marketing for the sake of crypto marketing, which always kind of happens across this industry and these ecosystems. They actually like removed their Twitter account like 7 or 8 months ago, and then they came back. I think they came back. Gilbert, the CEO, is still fairly active on Twitter. Anyways, two really big announcements coming out that I wanted to at least mention over the past 2 days here. The first was the announcement of Overledger Fusion. This is coming from Gilbert, the world's first layer 2.5 network for institutions and DeFi. I did a quick breakdown. Node operators in the trusted node program can stake Quant, which has been wanted for a long time, to gain transaction priority. Fusion's built specifically for banks, fintechs, asset managers, and corporates. Now at the heart of a multi-chain rollup ecosystem. Enhances Quant Flow and PayScript, which I'll get into here in a second because there was another thing announced with Quant Flow just today. Token-gated infrastructure access. Access to core Fusion functions. Now, this is this new announcement. So transaction processing, API gateways, smart rollups will be powered by Quant, reinforcing token demand. This isn't financial advice, by the way. Just did a breakdown of the announcement. DeFi participation enabled with Quant, no wrapped asset dependence. You get the picture. But all institutions, enterprises, and DeFi users engaging with Fusion Layer 2.5, it looks like they're going to have to engage with Quant, the digital asset, as well. So check out the announcement for Overledger Fusion. And then today, Gilbert announcing the launch of Quant Flow, a game-changing programmable money platform that transforms money from a simple transaction into a next-generation workflow with advanced programmability and automation, making money work for you. One thing of note here that I'll say within this is that I think when I look at stuff like this being announced, and just from having the opportunity to, maybe I'm wrong, but from having the opportunity to interview so many people from so many entities, like, you know, the Deloittes and PwCs and all these like groups, they all say very consistent things that like this space would be much further along, the crypto space in general, if blockchain ecosystems were developing solutions for problems that already existed. So my kind of takeaway when I look at this, and again, this is speculative on my end, is when I see these new products being released from an entity like Quant, I would imagine that these are probably pain points that are being brought up from the banking industry as a whole. You know, which puts them in a really interesting driver's seat to actually develop solutions, if that's the case, if I'm right in those assumptions. But you can look into the documentation within Quant Flow here. Redefine money, fuel growth, remove efficiencies, your money, your rules. Game-changing programmable automation. Automate complex payment scenarios and remove cumbersome and inefficient manual tasks with PayScript, which is Quant Flow's fully customizable open standard language. Cut processing times up to 80%, save £1 to £2 million per year by eliminating manual inefficiencies. I think that, so this stat, I saw this somewhere else in their documentation. This is under the context of SMEs or small and medium enterprises. They're saying if they inject these in or Quant Flow in and PayScript, they could potentially save up to £1 million to £2 million per year. Existing and future money, so unified support for stablecoins, real-time foreign exchange conversion, and treasury management, future-ready architecture for digital asset regulation and adoption, effortless interoperability, scalable operations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So long story short here with Quant's new products, Overledger Fusion and QuantScript or Quant Flow and PayScript. Looks like enterprise node compliance, private/public chain interoperability potentially might be on the table. Scalable multi-chain DeFi. Lots of stuff kind of involved within that. I definitely wanted to give a huge shout out to the Quant community. Definitely under the radar. I mean, I've tried to talk about Quant as much as possible. I mean, I took a big break away from videos for a long time. I know I mentioned it with the European Central Bank. First tranche of participants for the digital euro, which was like just a month ago. And I definitely did a video on regulated liability network and the Quant integration like a year ago, probably. But they've been like quiet. And when they announce stuff, I think that it's probably worth paying attention. Even if you don't like Quant, probably worth paying attention to what they're doing, because I'm sure other big networks out there are doing similar stuff. And it's interesting to watch where the competition is flowing to. So, all right, saw this announcement. Oh, there's another document there. Saw this announcement come out, but this is XTC and Utilia custody integration, institutional grade custody, full audit trails, wallet compliance frameworks. Regulated institutions will now have safe and secure access to XDC and tokenized real-world asset infrastructure, especially for trade finance and cross-border settlements. RWA chains certainly maturing. This new integration is a powerful alliance that enables traditional banks and financial institutions to securely custody and manage assets, says the head of markets and partnerships at XTC. Utilia bringing a robust security architecture, intuitive user experience, and seamless integration capabilities. I'm really struggling through my getting sentences out today. Making them an ideal partner as we continue to expand institutional access to digital assets on our network. So this integration unlocking new capabilities for institutions managing and building on XDC, including secure custodianship of XTC-based assets, utilizing Utila's non-custodial multi-party computation wallets, implementing role-based access and granular policy enforcement across users and teams. Something interesting, again, the role-based access stuff. We saw that DTCC stuff a couple of weeks ago. Very similar verbiage, role-based access. Automated treasury workflows, token operations, and transfers on XDC, and connecting to the XDC network from Utila via customizable Ethereum virtual machine, RPC, for maximum control and performance. Shout out to the XDC ecosystem. And then I want to get into this too. Again, kind of under the context of like RWA.xyz and how this number right here of total real world assets tokenized on chain, a little under 23 billion, is a very low number. Compared to probably where it's at, well, definitely where it's already at right now. I'd say we've got to be probably already close to 50 or more. There's a lot of networks that aren't even included on RWA.xyz. I don't even think Hedera is on here yet. I think XDC just got on here. I think Algorand just got on here. So yeah, I think XRPL just got on here. So this puts some stuff into context for you. I've brought this up a couple of times. I mean, if you go back to July of 2020 or January of 2022, 1.9 billion tokenized on chain. January of 2023, 5.4 billion tokenized on chain. January 2024, 8.5 billion. Right now, we're sitting at 22 billion. I have a very strong inkling that when you look at this chart, 5, 7, however many years from now, you're going to look back at 22.9 billion and it's going to be like looking at Bitcoin in 2010. If you were to pull up a chart of Bitcoin right now, I did that video a couple of weeks ago that the Federal Reserve, what was it? It was the one committee out of the Federal Reserve putting out a report estimating that if everything goes correctly, including regulatory clarity, we could see $3 trillion in stablecoin market cap by literally 2028. So not even 3 full years, or about 3 years, which is over a 10x where the stablecoin market's at right now. If you do the correlation of, I don't know, it's just going to be wild to watch. I'll leave it at that. So I wanted to bring up and give a shout out to DOVU here. They're out of the Hedera ecosystem as well. They just announced the VCH Carbon Development Program, an exclusive 9-year contract with Veterans Carbon Holdings, bringing $1.1 billion in assets to the DOVU Digital Asset Warehouse. All credits will be minted on Hedera using DOVU operating system. Each carbon credit will be certified by B Carbon through the Baker Institute for Public Policy at Rice University in Houston, Texas. VCH's Farmer First model could become a blueprint for agricultural and environmental policy across the United States. DOVU's role as pivotal, says Katie Lorenz, president of Veterans Carbon Holdings, giving the infrastructure to scale globally while still making sure the lion's share of revenue goes back into rural communities. DOVU putting out additional context by monetizing organic carbon stored in soil across millions of acres of farmland. Farmers earn substantial annual revenues for their role in carbon sequestration. I definitely mispronounced that. Sequestration. While simultaneously strengthening biodiversity and increasing food production by up to 9%. Aligning positive impact on food production, climate action, and financial benefit is a big win. Setting a new standard in soil management, agricultural carbon integrity, encouraging land management practices that significantly reduce atmospheric carbon. DOVU's tech ensuring that each carbon credit is transparent, traceable, verifiable, and tamper-proof, giving corporate buyers a trusted way to offset emissions while directly benefiting American farmers. They just did a podcast today as well. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but I know that they had one. So this is their CEO, Irfan. If you want to check this out, definitely check it out. And I'll give it a retweet there. So I'll listen probably a little bit into that as well. But we've had DOVU on for podcasts multiple times. But yeah, I mean, bottom line is, I would also take a look into Hedera Guardian. I know DOVU has done a lot of work within the Hedera Guardian. They leverage a lot of the stuff as well. DOVU's operating system is a really interesting concept as well. I've done interviews, and Matt Smithies, the CEO of or CTO of DOVU, talking about kind of this need for a middleware for all of these kind of markets, which is really kind of interesting. That kind of bridges the gap between distributed ledger and some of the traditional infrastructure and some of the problems that exist. But I don't know, it's hard to keep up, guys. I mean, I'm not going to be able to find crazy deep dive stuff every single day. Also, huge shout out to Algorand hitting 3 billion transactions. I saw this last week. And then I'll do my spiel at the end here in a second. We're doing a Constellation Hypercast tomorrow out of Genfinity. So we're going to probably get a 1 week snapshot as far as the network statistics, because their network upgrade went live, which is Tessellation V3, which introduced delegated staking onto the network. So that'll be cool to get a snapshot of where the network's at. Yeah, but like I said, we're not going to be, I mean, I'll try to find crazy documents. For you guys that missed it, I mean, I found this document that was a DTCC patent publication. So it's not approved yet, but it's a publication that literally has XRP Ledger and Stellar for interoperable asset management. I'm pretty sure we updated it with the graphics. Yeah. You can see, well, you'd have to zoom in, but you can see Stellar, you can see XRPL. And then this is kind of on the heels of that other patent I found with DTCC. We also did a pretty big breakdown, because I really do think this is kind of not even a narrative, but it's one of the prevailing things going on just in general in the world. So it certainly reaches out and has tentacles in crypto. And I think the convergence of artificial intelligence and blockchain and distributed ledger is absolutely going to be massive. Even from a payment standpoint, when you think about like agentic AI and how these automated agents are going to be pathfinding for liquidity and doing all the other things that they're going to be doing. But we did a pretty decently sized breakdown, not just with, ecosystems that we kind of work within out of Genfinity, but more as well, including Avalanche and Cardano and BitTensor. And, but we broke down Hedera, Constellation, XDC Network, Algorand, Avalanche, BitTensor, which I also don't see getting as much discussion around, and Cardano. And interesting, you can see, some of the statistics around AI market size 2024 to 2034. It leads us right out into that same 2033 timeframe, like was mentioned in this in the Dubai land department document. So there's just so much going on, from real estate in Dubai to billion-dollar climate markets, custody rails, and a global developer wave in Africa, focused on Africa from the Hashgraph Association, $1 million hackathon. This is like just Monday, or what? No, it's Tuesday, because yesterday was a holiday. Proving that Web3 infrastructure is it's quietly going mainstream. It's not a matter of if, but when. If you guys like this content, outside of my inability to form full sentences today, like and subscribe to this, and hopefully I can find some crazy deep divey stuff this week, but no promises. I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Thanks. Bye.